Hey guys, what's up? So per usual with my videos, I'm not in Kansas City again, I'm not in St. Louis or Colorado, I'm actually in Milan, Italy. I'm working on a project right now for the battery tour with AY Young, and so again, that is why we're out in Italy touring. For this video, I kind of want to talk about the style of shooting that I'm doing while I'm tour with him. So I'm doing a lot of run and gun shooting, which means there's no studio and there's no real setup for what I'm shooting. We just kind of go throughout the city during the day, and whatever we kind of come across location-wise and lighting-wise, I just work with it and we just kind of go from there. So the first thing I want to talk about is lighting. So obviously, like I said in my last video, with a camera, you are constantly struggling and just battling with light, either trying to get enough light into the camera or trying to create enough darkness so the camera isn't overexposed. So the first piece of equipment you're going to need while doing run and gun shooting is called an ND filter. An ND filter is basically just it's like a sunglasses for your camera lens. It's another lens that you screw on to the front of your camera lens, and it allows less light to go into the lens. So like I said in my last video, with your f-stop, which is that iris that opens and closes and allows either more or less light to go into the camera sensor, sometimes a higher f-stop isn't enough to allow less light in, so you have to put this other filter on to allow less light into the camera in order for your shot to be not overexposed. Another reason you need an ND filter is if you want to shoot a lower f-stop to get that blurred out background. When you open your f-stop more, it allows more light to get in, so obviously your shot is going to be overexposed. Therefore, you have an ND filter to contrast the amount of light going in so you can get a well-exposed shot while having that blurred out background. So along with an ND filter for lighting equipment, what you're also going to want to get is probably just a small LED light or a light that you can attach to the front of your camera. So with run and gun shooting, again, you're not going to know if you're going to have too much light or too little light. When you have too much light, that's what the ND filter is for. When there's not enough light, that's what you're going to have this other external light for. And it doesn't always have to attach to the front of your camera. That's what I do just to make it easiest for transportation. But it's basically used for if you're shooting a subject and you can't see their face, or you're shooting some sort of object, it's just to give a little more light to the shot in order to see what you're shooting. The next piece of equipment you need to think about is your audio. So while run and gun shooting a lot, as you can probably hear, there's a lot of ambient sounds that can be a little distracting if you don't have a lavalier microphone like this, which is very direct, and this is basically how you can hear me clearly right now. There's another piece of equipment that's another external microphone that you can put on top of your camera. And this will allow for, if you're walking around real quick and you don't have time to throw a microphone onto someone, you can at least get some audio from what they're saying. It may not be the best audio, but in post-production, you should be able to adjust it a bit for it to be good enough for the video. The last piece of equipment I want to talk about is probably the most important, and it's storage. So again, while you're doing a big project like I'm doing right now, and it's a lot of run and gun shooting, you have to remember that you're going to be taking up a lot of storage on your camera. So you have to make sure to get memory cards that have a lot of data or memory on them. So the one I'm using right now, I think, is a 253 gigabyte memory card, and then I have two more 126 gigabyte memory cards just for backup. And then also, when you're done shooting for the day, you want to remember to dump all of your footage onto an external hard drive and then back that up onto another external hard drive in case that one goes out. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's the safest way to make sure that you save all of the recordings you have throughout the day. You can always get new equipment, if that breaks and whatnot, but if your memory goes and your shots are gone, there's really no way to go back in time and reclaim those. When you're working with run and gun projects, you're going to run into some difficult situations. Don't let that limit you from telling your story.